Hey everyone, welcome to day 3B of our sew along. This video is going to be dedicated strictly to the placket. We get so many questions on it that I wanted a quick video tutorial to show you guys.
Thank you so much for watching our Laguna Sew Along. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Simple Life Patterns. You can also post your progress pictures in our fan group at facebook.com/groups/SLPCO for a chance to win prizes.
The concept is going to be the same if you're doing the piece skirt or the simple skirt. You will have to find your center back. So if there's a certain side that you want for the front, make sure you're doing this on the center back. For the paneled version, it'll be your center panel in between your two pockets. You will fold it in half right there, matching up these right here. And you'll fold a crease and then you'll cut right there. The same concept for the simple version, which we are going to be working on. So you're going to fold your skirt in half, matching up your side seams right here. So I'm going to get those matched up nice because I want it nice and centered. So once you have your center line right here, we're going to cut down about 2 or 3 inches. And this is totally up to you on how deep you need your placket. If you want more room for it to come on and off, then you can go a little deeper. You'll just have to make a longer placket piece. But for this, we're going to just cut down about 2 inches right here. I'm just going to go right there, about 2 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it right side out so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. I'm going to push that skirt piece down. So now we have this slit in the center back of our skirt. What we're going to do is we're going to take our pins. Actually, the first thing you need to do before you do that is on your placket piece, this is 3 inches by whatever length you're cutting times 2 plus 1 inch. So I think I have about a 7-inch piece right here. It's all we need for the 2-inch cutout. So I'm going to take the raw edge and fold it under a 1/2 inch and press. So have this pressed under a 1/2 inch. It's easier to do that now than later. Then you're going to take the other long raw edge and you're going to match it up to your cut. And I like to leave a little overhang because we can trim that off later. So that's why it's a little bit longer than your cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and start pinning this right here at the top. I'm going to do 3 pins on this side. And when I'm doing that 3rd pin, I'm going to pin it right at the V right there, if you can see where I'm splitting it, and then go down just about 1/8 of an inch. And that's where you're going to put that pin, just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip this up and around to this other side of our slit that we had cut and begin pinning it back up. So I'm going to keep pinning right here. And I want to make sure that the edges are lined up really nice. Okay. And it does get a little on the awkward side just because of the shape that you're pinning a straight line onto a V cut. So I'm going to get one more pin up here. Okay. So now you can see I have, if I spread that slit that we cut open, we have this nice line right here that we are going to go ahead and sew on. I'm going to lift this up just so you can see a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and sew 1/8 of an inch all the way across, being sure that when I get to this V point, that the skirt fabric is still underneath there. You don't want it to skip or miss any of those stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that. I also like to use a slightly shorter stitch length, maybe like a 2.0. That just really secures everything in place to make sure that they all stay together, especially when we start folding it. So I'll be right back and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I have sewn down the placket area and I made sure that my V point is still in this, has some of the skirt fabric in the seam allowance. Because there's some tension right there, we are going to go ahead and cut a little snip, being sure you don't cut any of your stitches right in that little V point. Now it can relax to being nice and straight. So once we have that, we are going to bring it over to our pressing mat. And you can finger press this too if you're in a hurry, but I like to press everything with my iron. So I'm going to go ahead and push the seam towards the placket on both sides. So get a little shot of steam. Same thing with this side. It's a little awkward shape, so Just gotta work around it. We just want that seam allowance in towards the placket because we're gonna cover it up with the other side so there are no exposed seams. Okay, so I have my placket right here. The seam has been pressed that way. And remember we have this folded edge right here. We are gonna bring that and fold it over, and it's gonna cover our stitching that we have right here. You want it to cover it just by a little bit. And so once you have that, you'll grab your pins and pin that in place. And the more pins in this area, the better, because you want to make sure that your folded edge is covering your stitch line at all times. And then when you get to the V point, you want to put a pin right in that area. Let's go ahead and put one right there. And continue up to the other side. Okay, once you have that all pinned nicely, you can go sew 1/8 of an inch from this edge right here to hold it all in place. I'll be right back. I went and sewed across the placket right there. Everything is secure. I'm just going to press this in place so I have a nice crisp edge on that folded area now. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it so the right sides are up. And here comes the fun part. Let me move that out of the way now. So now you have this placket and it's kind of all floppy and odd shaped. That's okay, because what we're going to do is fold it so it's going up and down just like this. And all you'll do is kind of finger press this edge where your stitching is. Just kind of hold it, and then you're going to bring that back up. And when you do that, it will cover itself, just like that. You'll probably want to press this in place, but when you're done pressing it, this little corner right here can be pressed out so it's nice and flat, which is really nice. And then you're going to just go ahead and take your scissors and trim off any excess that you have of your placket. So we'll just cut it right there, and your placket is ready to be sewn onto a bodice.